People know the perils of trading, yet tens of thousands enlist in this relentless money grinder. Most fall in their first battle, losing $600,000, but their hope endures, compelling them to deposit another $100,000 for a second chance. Some survive until dawn, turning just $270 into $35,000, but lack the strength to continue, slipping back into darkness and reducing that $35,000 to just $27. Only a few achieve glory in this endless struggle for profits, driven by an insatiable desire to go all in again and again. And it is my honor to present to you a trader who goes by the name of Crans and Cannabis. He turned just $450 into $40,470 in just 3 days. And to make it even more impressive, he did that with 4 consecutive trades. He started off on June the 24th with $450 on Nvidia puts, expiring in just 4 days. At the time, the stock was already falling and he caught the train just a day before it changed directions. He sold his position an hour and a half before the close, turning the initial $450 into $1,065. Not trying to bask in his gain for too long, he jumped back into the market just an hour later, going all in on Corona calls, expiring in 4 days, just 30 minutes before the market close. Once again, he made the right bet as the stock jumped up by more than 7% on the next day, but he closed the trade well before the end of the day. At 12:12 p.m. he closed the position, bringing his account to $2,009. Despite his almost 2x gain, he quickly realized the stock had more potential, and he, or at least his greed, wasn't going to let it go up without him. So exactly 30 minutes after he closed the last trade, he jumped back in with $1,932, holding the position for about 2 hours and bringing his account to $2,364. Do you think he was done for the day? Of course not. There was still an hour and 12 minutes left to find the next trade, and it took him just 37 minutes to spot the final boss of his trades, Rivian. On June the 25th, when the stock closed at about $12, he went all in on Rivian calls, expiring in 3 days. On the same day, it was reported that Volkswagen will invest up to $5 billion in Rivian, which is why the stock opened more than $4 higher the next day. He knew the stock was likely going to fall after open, so he made the perfect decision to sell right when the market opened, getting the most out of his trade and turning just $2,380 into $40,740 overnight. He personally keeps his option trading simple: long calls, long puts. Risk is always premium paid, and you can never lose more than you put in. He is more of a chart guy, and he used Thinkorswim for his charts. He used to use TrendSpider, which is a great platform, but you need to pay to use it. And now he uses tastytrade for his actual trades. Sadly, he says there was no skill involved, just luck, so don't ask him how he did it. Having that said, he says that he spotted the Rivian trade because he's been watching it recently. The company had some good news with the cost cutting, retooling, had some recent upgrades, and he's been seeing way more of them around town recently. On Monday and Tuesday it had some good momentum and he wanted to chase on Wednesday, so yeah, he just got lucky. He's gone from 1k to 10k to 250k and lost it all many times. Yet his goal has always been $1 million and he's come close to it a couple times, but always let his emotions get the better of him and break his rules. Maybe this time he won't be a regard. This next trader has already lost $623,282.67 and was left with just $16,000, but he simply couldn't stop on a loss. He goes by the name of Captain Huddle and he lost $500,000 in just 2 years simply because of greed. You see, he was actually making gains, but he always sold too early, missing out on even more gains. From that moment on, he decided to hold for longer and his account just took a nosedive. Not to be discouraged by his past mistakes, he quickly lost the remaining $16,000 and reloaded with $100,000 because, you know, this time it will be different. Now just imagine getting to the point where you have to put in $100,000 to just reduce your loss from 97% to 83%. And of course, he's almost just all in options with 29k in Tesla, 42k in Core Scientific, 10k in Nvidia, 10k in SunPower and 6.5k in Micron Technology. Now some traders don't need to risk hundreds of thousands of dollars to make gains. Some will take whatever they have and turn it into tens of thousands of dollars. One such trader goes by the name of MFK5825 and he turned just $1,000 into 64k in just 2 months. As you can see, he's up by more than 6,000% or almost $63,000, and he achieved that with calls on Reddit, GameStop, Salesforce, Apple and SPY. His exits weren't perfect. He definitely could have made more, but he's also aware that he got lucky and it could have all gone back down. This is basically his entire net worth and he's stopping for now, but see you tomorrow. So yeah, he firstly turned 1k into 10k with SPY and Reddit options. Then he got to 30k with GameStop calls, to 40k with Salesforce calls, to 60k with Apple and SPY calls, and to 64k with Airbnb calls. He didn't do much research for these trades, honestly a WallStreetBets way. GameStop was obvious with the return of deep value, Salesforce went down too much so he thought it was good value, and Apple was pre-WWDC, so a bit of a gamble. He wasn't the only one who turned just a few $100s into tens of thousands of dollars. As a trader who goes by the name of Established Balloon turned just $270 into $35,000, but then he turned it into $27. He started off with trading just stocks. He found big winners in the generic high flyers like Moderna, Facebook and BYND. No diversification, just buy high, sell low, while full porting 100% concentration. Then he dipped into crypto in ETH and Bitcoin. And then he enabled options. BlackBerry and Macy's were his biggest winners initially, but he made the bulk of it on AMD Leaps. He loaded up on a bunch of calls with a strike price at $90 in early 2021 and rolled them all out as it reached $160, but then they expired worthless, and it was just a slow death from 2022 to 2023. Looking back on it, covered calls were his best bet. Live and you learn. And to make it worse, at the peak of his trading journey he changed his major to finance, and now he can't find a job and is dead broke with nothing to show for it. He's pretty sure he has some sort of autism and used his last $28 to buy Zins and McDonald's $5 meal. Sadly, there are a lot more traders making decisions so genius that they are bound to go wrong, yet they somehow don't. One such trader goes by the name of Skip M3 and he invested his student loans into the stock market. He started off with 6k from a few years of investing. Then he got that glorious student loan check of 16k and then thought to himself if he had the balls to take it to the moon. And yeah, he somehow got his account to $38,410.46. He put about 5k in SPY for a buffer and then the rest he traded weekly in options and stocks. For example, he bought 3k worth of Tesla when it hit $150 and he's just been riding it up. Now he can't wait for his next student loan to hit his account, making all the best decisions in college and can't wait to make more. A trader who goes by the name of AFI Dolphin is asking if anyone can come back from like this. He's down by 99% or $79,402.89 and is left with just $193.03. But at least he had a few spikes giving him hope as his account fell further and further down. Now this loss was over time since 2022. The first option he bought was Bed Bath & Beyond meme and made him again 1000%. But then IQ calls blew up his account. The next jump was from all the banks crashing as he had a bunch of puts. Then he went hard with 2 to 3k worth of calls on all kinds of earnings report plays. Some hit, some didn't. Eventually all didn't, or Feta Decay ate them away along with Ivy Crush. So overall it's a very challenging game, and to make it worse he had a chance to make it all back. If only he just threw 1k in display instead of just $20, with which he made made an 8,000% or $1,600 gain. And last but not least, a trader who goes by the name of Xiaomi Terror made more than $500,000 in just a day, bringing his account to $1,068,176.74. And he actually started this options run with just 4k. The majority of this account was literally his Dogecoin that he bought in 2020. Most of the money that he kept depositing into Robinhood would go towards dollar cost averaging into more Doge. Then he got sick of Doge not moving, so he decided to shoot another bullet into options. He remembered how all the crypto stocks benefited from Bitcoin's last bull run, so he chased those as he saw that Bitcoin was primed to rip. He bought a lot of Mara and Robinhood calls with a bit of Apple and Palantir calls. And if you want to see how this trader made $4.5 million in a single day, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching.